music. Good morning, Mini Path Spiritual Center. Whether you are in this room or in your living room, we welcome you. And we're going to get things started off by singing a couple of songs. So on behalf of Reverend Deb Moore, I'm Ryan Gill. That's the Sanctuary Band. That's Jackson, Daphne, Mary Grace. We're going to sing a couple of songs back to back to get us going this morning. We're going to swing wide the doors and let go and let God. Sounds like some good advice, doesn't it? All right, let's everybody stand up and sing. 1, 2, 3, 4. Swing wide the doors, the time is right. Swing wide the doors to let in the light. Swing in the dawn for humankind. Swing wide the doors of this heart of mine. Swing wide the doors, the time is right. Swing wide the doors to let in the light. Ring in the dawn for humankind. Swing wide the doors of this heart of mine. Well, I'm not holding it in anymore. I'm gonna shout it out loud. I understand now what I'm here for and what this life is about. It's about love. It's about comfort. It's about comfort and smiles. It's about love. It's about kindness. It's about hearts open wide. It's about love. It's about passion. It's about taking a chance. It's about love. It's about service. It's about lending a hand. Lending a hand. Ring wide the doors. The time is right. Swing wide the doors to let in the light. Ring in the dawn for humankind. Swing wide the doors of this heart of mine. There's a voice that I've heard for years, but I've learned to keep it inside. Well, now it's coming in loud and clear, 'cause I want a deeper life. It's about love, it's about laughter, it's about comfort and smiles. It's about love, it's about kindness, it's about hearts open wide. It's about love, it's about passion, it's about taking a chance. It's about love, it's about service, it's about lending a hand. Lending a hand. Swing wide the doors, the time is right. Swing wide the doors to let in the light. Ring in the dawn for humankind. Swing wide the doors of this heart of mine. Swing wide the doors, the time is right. Swing wide the doors to let in the light. Ring in the dawn for humankind. Swing wide the doors of this heart of mine. All right. 2, 3, 4. Some days I do, some days I don't. Some days I will, some days I won't. Some days I sing, some days I float. Some days I get real smart and live by this quote. Let I play. Some days I get real smart, and here's what I say. What do we say? Let go and let God. Let go and let God. Let go and let God be in charge. And let my worries go. Let go and let God. Let go and let God. Let go and let God be in charge. And let my worries go. Let go and let God be in charge. And let my worries go. See you later, worries. All right. Thank you so much. Please be seated. Guys, that was blindingly fast, wasn't it? That was just burning. That was so good. Oh my goodness, look at all the kids. Now go have fun. Okay, please promise me that all of the energy did not just leave the room. Okay, there's plenty of energy left in here, right? All right, so we'll have to bring it, okay? All right. So welcome to Many Paths Spiritual Center, Nashville's interfaith alternative. Yes, I just coined that on the spot. Put that on the website. Put that on all the printed material. Put that on our sign out front, okay? We are a friend for the journey. I love that one also. A friend for the journey, our spiritual journey. Everyone here is on a spiritual journey. Whether we say so or not, we are humans having a spiritual experience, whether we realize it or not. So wherever you are on your spiritual journey, you are welcome here. You are here. We're here to love you. We're here to give you support through spiritual community, and hopefully you're going to learn a few things along the way. So that's what we're here for. That's what we do. That's what we provide to you. So we are a very active spiritual community, and I do believe we have some announcements to show us that. Everybody say hi to Kat.
Hello. Okay, join Seth this Tuesday for the Happy Class at 6 p.m. This class will feature a gentle yoga groove to a movie hits playlist, followed with Reiki relaxation and lavender hand treatments. Cost is $20, and you can sign up in the front room. Breathe and Be, a service of mindfulness. Thursday, August 14th, 6:30 to Wednesday, August 14th, 6:30 to 7:30. A midweek time for stillness, mindful walking, and an awareness space for loving kindness. Dress comfortably. Love donation. Join us for a pranic energy healing clinic on the third Sunday of each month. Deborah Champion will be hosting the event that is open to anyone who is open to energy healing. The clinic will be open from 4 to 6 on Sunday, 8/17 in the sanctuary. Empath and highly sensitive person support group. Saturday, August 23rd, 10 to 11:30. We will focus the circle on finding the balance between compassionate connection and protecting our energy with personal boundaries. Love donation. Satsang Circle with Reverend Deb, Friday, August 29th from 7 to 8:30. Bring questions, concerns, joys, gratitude, or just your presence, which is always enough, as we share truth and oneness in beloved community. All activity or meeting links and contact numbers can be found on the website, weekly happenings, Google Calendar, or you can always email the church.
All right.
Good morning, Many Paths Spiritual Center. Let's begin this portion of our service by taking a deep centering breath. Today's centering statement is, I give love and it returns to me. Just want to make sure it's right. Did you know that the energy required from giving is the same energy required to receive? The law of compensation states that we will be compensated in direct relation to what we give. And to move forward spiritually, we not only have to give energy and service to others, we must also give up what is holding us back. Keep in mind that compensation comes in many forms, not just material riches, but in areas like loving relationships, a healthy body, and peace of mind. What thoughts and energy are we sending out into the universe? And how do we see that come back in our lives? Putting love first in our thoughts and actions means that we understand that the universe supports us in creating the good, the holy, and the beautiful. It means knowing that we are on the earth for a purpose, and that purpose itself will create opportunities for its accomplishment. The energetic return for giving love, peace, and joy to your world is that you will receive love, peace, and joy from anywhere and everywhere, sometimes from a place that you'd least expect it. But keep in mind, the opposite is also true. When your actions are meant to cause injury, that is what you can expect in return. When you bring your best self to whatever you do and aim to be the best version of yourself that you can be, you will see this law in action. Be generous and kind, and then graciously accept it with open arms when it comes back to you, heaped up, pressed down, and shaken together, for that is the law, and so it is. And now please repeat these affirming statements after me. I align myself with the thoughts of infinite love for myself and others.
I align myself with thoughts of infinite love for myself and others.
My divine purpose is to be love, give love, and receive love.
My divine purpose is to be love, give love, and receive love.
The good that I bring into the world returns to me, pressed down, shaken together, and running over.
The good that I bring into the world returns to me, pressed down, shaken together, and running over.
And so it is.
So it is. My goodness, I love that one. So, should we sing some more? All right, let's do another one. For the month of August, we are revisiting monthly mantras from past months of this year. It's kind of a greatest hits, you should say, although, my opinion of what is a greatest hit might be different than yours. And we only have 4 weeks in the month, so, that's the way that goes. And I'm the boss. So today, we're going to revisit the monthly mantra from, I think we did this in March. And I love this one because of what it says. I love this song because musically we get all these great, beautiful harmonies from the ladies. So let's stand up and see if we can remember, I am one, we are one. I'm just a spoke in the wheel, one grain of sand. But it feels so right to be right where I am. One little part of a much bigger plan. And the longer I'm here, the more I understand. I am one, we are one, like the sky runs to a stream, then the ocean by and by. I could do worse than to give myself up on the crest of a wave in this ocean of love. I am one, we are one, just one drop of rain that falls from the sky, runs to a stream, then the ocean by. One little part of a much bigger plan, and the longer I'm here, the more I understand. I am one, we are one, like the rays of the sun. When it's all said and done, I am one, we are one. Beautiful. Thank you so much. Please be seated.
Good morning, everybody. It is such a pleasure to see you. I have to tell you the honest truth. I stand in the back there, and as one by one we roll in here because we're all on Unity Standard Time. I stand back there and I look at the door, and every single person who walks in, I just feel just overjoyed. It's like, oh, yes. Oh, it's so good to see you. Oh, I'm so happy you're here. Yeah, it's a great feeling. You ought to try it sometime. Actually, we can't all stand behind in the kitchen, but it's a really great feeling. So I'm so glad to see you here this morning. I invite you to close your eyes and get comfortable in your seat as we take a moment to just kind of center ourselves. The poet Dorothy Hunt said, "Peace is this moment without judgment." Peace is this moment without judgment. We can bathe in peace in any moment. If we're willing to be honest about our judgment and let it go. Maybe you say, well, I don't want to let go of my judgment. It's comfortable to me. It's kind of a little security blanket that I've gotten used to carrying around. Okay, then, let's just set it down for this moment. You can pick it back up again later on, but right now, in this now moment, let go of all of it. Judgment lives in our delusion of separation. But we are one, like the rays of the sun. For just a moment together, let's rest in pure peace. We can only rest in pure peace if we let go of judgment in this moment. Let's be in that place together, in the stillness, in the silence. The more that we practice being in the energy of pure peace, in the place where judgment cannot be, the more we remain ready to answer the question in every given moment, what would love do now?
Just before you say something you can't take away, take a breath, then let it out. Try to think about what would love do now. Wondering if you should cross that line for good. Whatever you decide, ask yourself from inside, what would love do now? Everything is either an act of love or a cry for love. That's why for love we try for love. In the end, that's all we know, that's real. Whether right or wrong doesn't matter, just as long as you let your heart decide. Ask yourself from inside, what would love do now? 'Cause everything is either an act of love or a cry for love. That's why for love we try for love. In the end, that's all we know, that's real. So just before you say something you can't take away, take a breath, then let it out. Try to think about what would love do now. What would love do now? What would love do now?
Do y'all listen to what Jackson is doing on that song? Do y'all listen to that? It's like a little, I would call it a counter melody. Is that what it's called? Counter melody on that bass line. And yeah, it's nice. I like it, Jackson. You're welcome. You're welcome. I'm just going to throw this on the floor. How about that? How's everybody doing today? This is the final week of our Self-Care for the Soul series. Woohoo! Have you enjoyed it? I've been enjoying it. I don't know about you. I've been enjoying. Okay, good. You notice how give me applause. Yeah, no, I'm kidding. So I've been thinking, one of the things that I think about sometimes, I know how to make this place grow. I do. I know how to just pack this place out. We'd have to go to 3 services on Sunday morning. We would have to build like a balcony over the microwave, right? The microwave balcony. I know how to do this. Here's what you do. You create a spiritual process using very good catchwords. You give it a snappy name. You claim that you discovered it in an ancient text that has been buried in the ground for many, many years. You convince people that this is a true pathway to personal peace or enlightenment. Maybe you write a book about it. You package it with a workbook, right? You make a set of oracle cards that are themed with the process. You have a very specific something that you're selling because people love to buy, right? We are sold, right? Like we all were raised up in a consumer society. We're just constantly looking for people to throw our money to, right? Let me give you my money. Take my money. Everything is transactional in our society, so it makes sense that we've created a transactional spirituality, right? I got saved because somebody died on a cross. I understand this because someone stayed in a cave and got the message from the angel. I understand this. It's all transactional, right? Now, I'm saying this without any judgment against the people who've done that because I've bought their stuff. And I've learned from their stuff at times. Right? I've learned from their stuff. And I've just thought about the fact that that is something that Deb has no interest in. Right? I have no interest in using my spiritual understanding as a pathway to my own personal wealth or success. And I try to say that without judgment. I'm not saying that as a judgment. I'm talking about what Deb would do. What Deb feels comfortable with. If I understand anything spiritually, I'll tell you. It's yours, right? And the way to peace that I understand is a few essential, simple steps that have been packaged in many different ways. Every major wisdom tradition points to these. You can go to Islam or Buddha, the Buddhism or Hinduism or Christianity. You're going to find these simple steps in all of those. So in this final week of our self-care series, I want to review a little bit, and I want to take our time, not packaging it in something, even self-care series, packaging it as a bubble bath, right? Might be something. I don't know. We could go with that. We could have little oracle cards that come with a lotion, right? That I don't know, maybe. All right, so let's go back and few little steps. Letting go was the first step that we talked about. Man, this is the key to everything, it would seem, isn't it? It is the ultimate surrender. I give myself up and over to the sacred, to the divine. I give myself over to this now moment, accepting it as it is, without judgment, right? Peace is this moment without judgment. To me, that line is one of the greatest lines in my spiritual journey. Every time I forget it, thank God somebody brings it back to me. The universe, I listen to somebody and, oh yeah, peace is this moment without judgment. In the Sermon on the Mount, Jesus said, judge not, that ye be not judged. We've all heard that verse before, right? Oh, we judge not. But here's the thing. That judgment is probably our greatest attachment. Judgment is an attachment. If I'm passing judgment on somebody, I'm saying, I am attached to you doing this a different way. I am attached to this moment being different, right? And so I'm bringing judgment into it. Now, look, we may be kind of hardwired for it. It was probably judgment that kept our cave-dwelling ancestors from getting eaten by a saber-toothed tiger. I have no idea if saber-toothed tigers and ancient humans lived at the same time. I'm showing my evolutionary ignorance, but you get the picture, right? It was survival. We needed to be able to judge a situation in order to survive. We had to make decisions about safety on a daily basis, a momentary basis even. It was a discernment, yes, but let me tell you, judgment and discernment, they grow out of the same seed. They grow out of the same seed. Evaluation, perception, reasoning, common sense, beliefs. One of these days, I'm going to do a talk called Let Go of Your Beliefs. Yeah, let go of your beliefs. That seed is our critical thinking skills, and I spend a whole lot of time with this seed. 100% of what I teach at the college is critical thinking skills. That's it. I'm teaching students how to encounter something, tear it apart, analyze it, find out what part of it is valid, what part of it is not, make discerning judgments about it, right? But peace is still this moment without any of that. My students would tell you that's true because they would say, oh, peace is not college. I can tell you that. I'm living in all this. It doesn't feel like peace to me. Peace is this moment without any of that. And Jesus urged that we let it go. We don't swim in the judgment soup. If we could create a 4-word gospel, it would be this: don't judge, just love. Don't judge, just love. Right? And what I love about that is that don't judge, just love answers the number one fear we have about letting go. Our number one fear about letting go is we don't want to lose something. But letting go keeps us in relationship with something. Don't judge, let go. Just love, but remain in loving relationship with, right? And so when we were talking about this, we explored this idea. Don't think of letting go as losing or giving up. Letting go can more accurately be defined as changing my relationship with. Do I squeeze the bird tightly, or do I offer an open hand? And there's more options than that. You could decide to be afraid of the bird and go get a gun, right? You could decide to just, you could. There's all different kinds of ways you could encounter this bird. You could be in relationship with this bird. You could say, keep me inside, you stay outside, I don't want anything to do with you. You could say, look, I'll feed you, but don't come close to me. Or you could say, oh, there's so many different ways to be in relationship with anything else in our lives. So many different ways. The good news is that we have these great indicators for when letting go is needed. We have great every time something feels a little bit off, every time something is not working, we feel frustrated, we get angry, we start to grumble, something is not exactly the way we want. That is another opportunity for us to let go of something. Feeling these things isn't failure. Feeling angry, feeling frustrated isn't failure. It's part of your human hardwiring. But we want to move into sacred hardwiring, right? Letting go of our survival instincts to make room for the life that we are. These instances of frustration become these beautiful signposts that remind us again and again and again, over and over, to change our relationship with whatever seems to be causing the anger or frustration or the perceived lack of freedom. Right? What is the definition of insanity? That's right. Doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result. If I get frustrated by the same situation time after time after time after time after time, I'm living in insanity. I'm allowing myself to be in momentary insanity. And every single day I'm thinking to myself, they still haven't changed, right? They're still as stupid as ever. They still don't know how to drive. I'm sorry, babe. It's just because my wife is sitting here that I had to make mention of that. But I didn't. They still don't. Guess what? They're not going to know how to drive tomorrow either. They're not going to know how to drive tomorrow. So do I want peace in this moment? Then maybe I got to do something. That's my indication. Do I want peace or not? You don't have to. You can say, no, I don't. Right now I want to grumble. A lot of people use getting behind the wheel of a car as their outlet, right? They say, well, this is my outlet. Here's what I want to suggest to you. Wouldn't it be nice to live in such a way that you didn't need an outlet? Drop that mic, right? That you didn't need an outlet, right? Then we moved on to checking in. Now, checking in goes hand in hand with letting go. We could really talk about them in either order. Check in with ourselves, check in with our tribe, check in with the divine essence within us. We could talk about them in either order because checking in, looking honestly, checking in is about looking in a spiritual mirror honestly, right? Washing off the makeup that we've put on our lives, clearing everything off, exfoliating all the stuff away, and looking at who we are with all of the honesty that we can bring to that situation. Checking in often gives us more clarity about what to let go of, but letting go is many times the act that opens the door for the check-in. So they're like flip sides of the same coin. Checking in is training ourselves not to hide from ourselves. Training ourselves not to hide from ourselves, because that will never bring success. I was at dinner with a colleague Friday night, and we had the same conversation around stuff at the college. And because spiritual truth is spiritual truth everywhere you go, right? It's just the truth. Even if you don't talk about it in spiritual terms, it's still the same. And in the course of the conversation, I said, I wonder how much would change at the college if everyone started the analysis of every conflict with, first, is it me? Could I be the problem? Right? What part of me is perpetuating? Susan says, no, not me, never me. What part of me is perpetuating the problem? Right? But that would only work, of course, if we would be truly honest with ourselves in that check-in. If we first stop and say, okay, what part of this is mine? Right? Just be honest with yourself. That opens the door. What is my part? Now, I'm not saying to ask this from a place of belittling or self-blaming. This is not about that. It's about resisting the tendency that we have to make ourselves the hero of every story. And we all do this, right? We are always the only one who understands the right way to approach this. We are always the only one who understands how you should see this, how you should view this situation or this problem. We're the only one who actually gets it right. Actually, checking in with honesty is the opposite of self-belittling. If you're ever checking in a way and it feels self-belittling, there's other work that needs to be done. Because here's the thing, only someone who has done the work of self-worth and self-value, who understands, who's connected with their internal self, can afford to put down those shields and bring down those walls that we think we need because we think we're weak and need protection. When we know we're strong, we can let the shields down, right? When I know I'm strong inside, I can look at myself honestly. And I go, oh yeah, you know what? I didn't handle that the best way. You know what? That belief that I'm clinging to is not bringing me peace, right? That thing over there. I can look at the situation for what it is. And so then we get to the third step that we talked about last week, and that was making changes, actually making changes, not talking about it, not creating a vision board about it, not just making a change, doing something different because you want a different result. You know that old story, right, about the if a ship leaves New York and it's headed for London and it's only off by like 1 degree, it's going to end up in Northwest Africa, right? Every little thing we do differently has dramatic results down the road. We may not see them right off the bat. We're still just heading east, excuse me. We're heading east. We're still just heading east, but if we're off just 1 degree, if we just change it by 1 degree, we can end up in a completely different place. Doing something different because you want a different result, because we're sane. Most of us. We're mostly sane most of the time, right? We want a different result. We're going to do something differently. So the goal is to identify a true, good, positive, centering change, and then to not only make the change, but we talked about embodying the change, becoming the change. And we rewrote Gandhi a little bit. He said, be the change you wish to see in the world. Be the change you wish to see in your life. What's not working in your life? Change it. Right? I know that sounds simple, and sometimes it's not easy, but one little thing, be the change. Become it, embody it. We know how to do this. We go to a weekend shaman workshop, and all of a sudden we're dressing like a shaman, right? Right? We're wearing the right kind of clothes that make us look like spiritual people. We're we're carrying a crystal in our pocket. Right? Yeah. We're doing all that because we're embodying the change we're making. We're letting it show up in our physical reality, our world. Have y'all seen Pamela Anderson recently? Yeah. So if y'all don't remember, for you youngins, Pamela Anderson was the Baywatch babe of, the 80s, 90s? I guess it was 90s, yeah. I mean, she was like the pinup girl, gorgeous pinup girl. I said like I'm in World War II. She was the babe, right? She had all this, she was always like glamour, whatever. And then she went away for a while. She was kind of out of our mindset. And when she came back in a very shocking way because she was wearing no makeup. And it just goes to show you how much makeup stars wear when they're on the cover of magazines, because when someone doesn't wear makeup, it's shocking. It's like, whoa, who is that? But here's the thing, she's talked about not being captured by traditional beauty standards any longer, and having a kind of freedom and empowerment that comes from just being able to present herself as herself. In other words, her outer is reflecting her inner. Her inner has undergone a change, and she's embodying that. Our body is a temple. You've heard that, right? Our body is a temple. It's the shrine of our spiritual essence. When you go to India, and you go to all these temples, and you go into this temple to Ganesha, and you go in, and there is a statue of Ganesha, that is Ganesha. We would look at that and go, well, that's an icon of Ganesha. That's Ganesha in the Hindu's mind. This temple is the body that houses the god. And it is a metaphor for who we are, right? So the body is a temple verse that's in the Bible, it's in Corinthians, is often used to tell us to take care of our body. Oh, you shouldn't smoke, the body's a temple. Oh, don't drink too much, the body's a temple. Oh, you should exercise more, the body is a temple. And there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, yes, I'm kind of like taking good care of your body is probably a really spiritual thing in the long run. But we're missing what it's really trying to say to us, because the verse in Corinthians says, do you not know that your body is a temple of the Holy Spirit who is in you? The Bible itself is saying that God is within, that the sacred, the divine essence lives in you, and you are the temple. Within you is the Holy of Holies, the sacred place where you can commune with God. And in this life, the body, the mind, the spirit are inseparable. The physical and the spiritual are inseparable. And so, yes, our physical reality does reflect what's going on inside of us, and vice versa. This reminds me of course, you know my favorite verse from the Bhagavad Gita. How do we embody this? There it is. If you want to be truly free, perform all actions as worship. Do you want to be truly free? I do. To live with a sense of pure freedom, to carry that with me everywhere I go. I'm free. Perform all actions as worship. It doesn't say perform this specific ritual. It doesn't say you have to pray this particular prayer. It just says start right here. Wash the dishes as worship. Right? Walk your dogs as worship. Pay your bills as worship. Arrive at work as worship. Help others as worship. Drive as worship. Unlock your door as worship. Bring the sacred into every moment, every action. And the more we do that, the more we are reminded that, yes, the divine never left us. The divine is right here in this moment where I'm unlocking my door. The divine is right here in this moment when I'm driving down the road. The divine is right here in this moment when I'm trying to make this decision, right? And so that brings us to the last step, which is bathing in peace. Nobody skips the massage at the spa, right? You don't skip the good stuff. You don't just go for all the whatever. You don't go for the vegan diet. You don't go for the whatever kind of mud scrub or whatever it is. You go to feel good. And sometimes that last feeling good is, oh, I've made it to the massage. I've made it to the moment of peace. I've made it to the bath, whatever. Nobody skips this. True spiritual self-care is about continually preparing to be able to do this. The goal is to be able to rest here as long as possible, to be in the place of peace as long as possible. And the more we do the other steps, the more often we find ourselves here, right? Until we're staying here more and more often. If we have let go of attachments, honestly checked in with ourselves, and made the changes we now clearly see are ours to make, peace is the natural byproduct of this process. Because peace is our natural state. Peace isn't something we pursue, it's something we uncover. If you were able to capture a portion of divine essence, a portion of sacred presence, right? A portion of God in a mason jar. Let's say you had a mason jar full of God, right? What could possibly be in that jar besides peace, love, bliss, freedom? There's nothing else in that jar, right? Well, my friends, you are the mason jar. Right? You are the mason jar. Now, we might have algae on our walls, right? We might have built up some algae. We might have tried to decorate the outside. We might have put the mason jar down in a drawer and buried it under 72 dish towels. But that mason jar is still there with the same divine essence, nothing but pure presence. And all those other steps, the letting go and the checking in and the making changes, those are about cleaning the walls of our mason jar. I think we're going to package this. Let's get a mason jar and put oracle cards in the mason jar. And I'm saying $29.95 is what I'm saying. There's a really important and practical reason for resting in peace, being in peace, relaxing in peace. You might say, well, I've got work to do in the world. I can't just sit around and be at peace. Peace is who you are. You can carry it with you everywhere you go. And the more you rest there, the better it is for everyone, yourself and the world around you. Paulo Coelho, the author of The Alchemist, taught us that the world is changed by your example, not by your opinion. Right? Well, I want the world to be more peaceful. But I feel like I'm not allowed to be at peace until the world becomes more peaceful. I've got to be all worried about it. I've got to churn about it because the world is churning. You're not going to change the world that way. There was on the internet, on the interwebs, there's been this thing in social media over the last couple of years called the shopping cart test. Have you all seen this on social media? Shopping cart test. And it's basically, I mean, it's not a big deal. It's not even worth its own Wikipedia page, all right? It's basically this idea that you can determine who's a good person by whether or not they put the shopping cart away when nobody's around to see it, right? That you're a person who puts the shopping cart away, and you know, and so that's a pretty big test. Are you the? It reminds me of a time with my dad. I was probably 15 years old. My mother and father had divorced the year before. My father had gone through a lot of loss. He basically lost living at home with his children. He'd lost his marriage. He'd lost his job, his profession. He was a preacher. They don't like it. They don't really want you to be in the pulpit when you've been divorced. I mean, other people, not us. But anyway, right? They looked down on that just a little bit. And so my father had lost everything. And he had come back to take my sister and my little sister and I to a high school football game. And before the game, he'd picked us up, which was weird. You know, it's very weird that first time your dad has to pull up and honk, and you go out and get in his car like he's a visitor to your house. It's really weird. And so we went to, he took us to McDonald's before we went to the football game. And so the three of us, we got our food. This is old school, right? Get your food, take the little tray, go sit down, sit at a table in McDonald's and eat. Try to have conversations that used to feel comfortable, but now they feel uncomfortable. Right? And I could tell my dad is was a very proud man. He was a Leo. I think it's kind of goes hand in hand, maybe. Oh, I don't know, maybe not. Yeah, does it? Okay. He was a pure Leo. And so when we got finished, I stood up and I started to put our trash on the tray. And my dad said, "Just leave that there." And I said, I don't know what I said. I didn't have words, right? You know how it is when you're young with parents, you don't have words. I don't remember what I said. He said, "We don't work here. Leave it." And so we walked out, and I'm sitting there with the pressure of, I cannot defy my father, and I live here, and people are seeing me walk away from this trash that's on the table. Had I been older, I would have been wise enough to say, "Dad, do you like those 79-cent hamburgers?" Because I think they were 79 cents back then. They're 79 cents because they don't have to pay somebody to clean up the trash. Would you rather pay? Anyway, I would have been old. What I remember is that moment. And what I remember is Dad walked away from that. Later on that night, he actually got into a fist fight with somebody. In other words, I look back as an adult and I go, oh my gosh, the anger and the frustration and the loss of control of his life that he was feeling in that moment, that's where all of that comes from. But he was swimming in this soup that said, "I don't have to do that. I don't work here. Someone else will do it." You see, here's the thing. The world is changed by your example, not your opinion. It comes down to this. In any given moment, do you want to demonstrate care, or do you want to demonstrate not care? Do you want to demonstrate care or not care? What good, and my father was a preacher, he would have gotten this ultimately. What good is it doing anybody in the world for you to make this point about not working here and not putting your tray away? What good is it doing anybody in the world for you to go, whatever, I'm just leaving this cart. And I'm not judged. If you leave your cart in the middle of the thing, you do you, boo. You do you, right? But what I'm saying is, what would love do now? What would care do now? If I want to change the world by my example, not my opinion, because nobody's in my head, nobody cares about your opinion. But they see what you do and how you live. And here's the thing, we need examples of peace in the world. I want the way I impact the world to be that I lived as peace. I lived as caring about others. I lived asking, what would love do now? We're called to be peace in the world. Maha Ghosananda is a Cambodian Buddhist monk, and he said this: when you make peace with yourself, you make peace with the world. His name, by the way, Maha Ghosananda, means great joyful proclaimer. I love that. Great, joyful proclaimer. Let me tell you, the world is giving us lots of practice on this right now. We often confuse making peace with validation. We worry that if the world is on fire and we're over here sitting at peace, that we are in some way going, it's okay that the world's on fire, right? It's okay. We worry that if we demonstrate peace, we might accidentally be contributing to the powers that we perceive as dangerous or damaging. Well, I'm supposed to be part of the resistance. I'm supposed to bring what I have to bear against this evil. But deluding ourselves is not the pathway to peace. And my friends, in every given moment, this is like this. Have you ever heard those people say, well, you know what, when we have a little bit more money or when so-and-so gets a job, then we're going to start having kids. And every one of you in here who's ever had kids knows that you're never ready for having kids, right? You are never ready for having kids. You just got to have kids. And that kind of makes you ready. In the same kind of way, you know what, the world is, you can't get ready for peace. You just got to be peace, right? You got to be peace in the world. The path to peace is letting go and checking in with honesty and making changes. And I do those in my own beingness to come to a place of peace where I can both be an example that changes the world and where I can see clearly and honestly. Because if I'm waiting on the world to find peace in order for me to have peace, then I don't understand peace. I don't understand it. The world has never had peace. Every era you can look at and you can go, oh, well, that crap was going on. Oh, well, that war was going on. Well, that thing was going on. And all through that, there have been people who managed to find peace in themselves because they realized they are peace. I bring peace to the situation because I bring me to the situation. And I am God's mason jar. I'm going with that from now on. I'm going with God's mason jar. And here's another thing. Keeping this in mind is that personal peace is not dependent on world peace. If it was, we'd never find peace, right? Personal peace is not dependent on world peace, but world peace depends on personal peace. World peace is only contributed to, fed by those who found peace within themselves. Look at the example that Gandhi brought to the 20th century. By just tapping into the peace that he was, he became one of the most famous figures of an entire century and brought a kind of peace to the world. Some might say, well, he brought some other danger and violence as well. It's complicated. But we see him as a person who brought peace to the world, right? Then after peace, what next? Now we say, okay, all right, I've got it. I've done it. I've done all these steps. I'm resting in peace. What now, Deb? What do we do now? Well, pretty soon, you're going to start to feel unpeaceful. Go back. Yeah, there we go. Pretty soon, you're going to start to feel a little unpeaceful again. It happens. Maybe you have to drive somewhere. Right? You have to encounter that person who has a way of grinding your gears, right? Somebody who knows how to push that button in you. Something happens. And so what we have to do is recognize that this is a process we stay in. We're constantly in this at any given moment, every day. I might be able to rest in peace for a time, right? And I want to stay there so much. I want to protect that so much that I'm going to pay attention to all these every day, checking in with myself, every day being honest. You know, I've said this before. Benjamin Franklin, one of my favorite figures to teach in early American literature, used to start every single day with his morning question. He ended it with his evening question. The morning question was, what good will I do today? And the evening question was, what good did I do today? Right? That's a personal check-in. Did I do good today? Did I bring good to the world today? Did I make a difference today? Right? We go back to the letting go when we start to feel uncomfortable again or not at peace. After your mud bath at the spa, you go to the shower and you pick up the bottle of shampoo. And what does it say on the back of the bottle of shampoo? We used to read the back of the bottle of the shampoo, but that was back in the days when we didn't have an iPhone to take to the bathroom with us. Right? You know what I'm talking about, right? The back of the bottle of the shampoo says, lather, rinse, repeat. We always thought that was like, who washes their hair twice? Do people actually do that? I don't know. Maybe that. Yes. Okay, I'm doing it wrong, apparently. Lather, rinse, repeat. This is the spiritual lather, rinse, repeat. Lather, rinse, repeat. Lather, rinse, repeat. To stay in the spin cycle, right? And I'm going to see how many metaphors I can pack into this talk today. But the more you do this, the more easily you slide into just bathing in peace. The longer you can stay there, right? The more you can do this. The goal would be to live from there. But know that about the time that you start to think you can live from there, that's when you step into, I got this thing figured out. And that becomes a spiritual attachment that we have to let go of, right? That becomes something we have to go back and do the lather, rinse, repeat with. We could sell this. I'm thinking we could sell this. Don't you think? We're not going to, though. Here's your homework. Your homework for today, for this week, the homework that you're not going to do, just like you didn't do the homework from the last 3 weeks. But you know, all I can do is offer it to you. I can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him think, right? So, all right. Your final homework is to love yourself enough to bathe in peace as often and as long as possible. Let that become your new baseline. Peace is my new baseline. And any deviation away from that is just the indication that I need to come back to peace. Now, someone might come up to me. Sometimes this happens. Perhaps someone will come up to me after the service and say, well, you know, that was all well and good, but here's my struggle, right? This is what I'm dealing with. What have you got for that? And I'm here to tell you, I'm not hiding a secret ingredient. What I have for that is all of this right here. I'm not holding back on an important key, and you'll get it if you subscribe to the Patreon, right? You'll get it if you add your name to my mailing list. I'll send you this special edition. This is it, folks. This is what I know, and I give it to you freely. We're all on different paths, but all these paths require of us that we pursue being able to live in peace by letting go, by being honest with ourselves, checking in daily, by making true changes, recentering ourselves again and again and again. Namaste.
So we just bathed in peace, and then for our closing song, we're going to let the peace wash over us. And we didn't even plan that out, right? I love it when a plan comes together. All right. Well, thank you so much, everybody. We appreciate you being here today. I want to remind everybody that we have the blue base there in the back for your paper money contributions. We've got the PayPal code there if you want to do it online. We appreciate your support more than you even know. We are growing really fast here. We've got all kinds of things going on with the kids. You know that Steph, for this month, is planning an event every Sunday for the kids, something special. They've put a plan together, and I don't know, have we announced? That's right, Steph has an assistant now. Ben Bork-Wells has agreed to come on as our youth assistant. So he's helping Steph come up with all these great ideas for the kids and implementing them. We're working on turning this middle room into a kids' room. So there's so much stuff that's happening, and it could not happen without your support. The fact that you guys step up to the plate and hit a home run every time is just so warming to me, and I love you guys so much for that. I appreciate everything that you do for us. So let me remind you to check the What's Happening newsletter that comes out on Tuesdays to remind you of what we've got coming up during the week. We have a meditation service, and it is going to be a beautiful, quiet, meditative service on Wednesday. I'm really looking forward to that. How many of you have difficulty throughout the week finding a set time to meditate? If you're like me, I know I do. Well, here's a set time for you to come and meditate. No interruptions, just time for you and your spiritual growth. So keep that in mind for this week. Check the What's Happening that comes out on Tuesdays. And let's all stand up together and say our closing prayer together. Daphne?
All right, together. May I stay true to the path that leads me to the light that is mine to shine. May my light provide help and kindness to others on their journey. May I bring peace to every situation, comfort to the grieving, and love to all beings. May my heart remain centered on what is sacred to my soul, and so it is.
2, 3, 4. Let's let it be. We let the love wash over us. We let it be. We let the love wash over us. We let it be. Sing about peace. We let the peace wash over us. We let it be. We let the peace wash over us. We let it be. Take the joy. We let the joy wash over us. We let it be. We let the joy wash over us. We let it be. We let it be. We let it be. We let it be. Thank you so much, everyone. I hope you have a great week. We'll see you throughout.